My name is Shamir. I go by Shrimpy online. I'm 19 years old. My preferred style is Doodle art, which is it's a pretty cool style. I love using all sorts of markers, specifically alcohol-based markers, because they allow you to blend and get some nice looking colours. They're the coolest thing ever. They're so vibrant, and in my first ever art supplies I bought were some alcohol markers. They weren't Copic because I didn't have as much money back then, but yeah, markers are my favourite. They're so vibrant and allow me to blend and just create anything I want and put it onto the page. They're amazing. When you think of doodle art, you always think of like those really cutesy and little ones that everyone does them in their school book, and of course I did that because all artists do that at some point. But it was in around 2017 where I found an artist called Vince Ockerman, also known as Vex on YouTube. And I was just so inspired by his piece, and it showed me what was actually possible in doodle art, and that inspired me to keep going. My art style has evolved a lot over time. You can see it in my early works. They're a lot more raw and unrefined. They don't look as professional. But I think just by going on YouTube and following some tutorials and studying the principles like anatomy, faces, the human structure, like light and shadow, all those things like I kind of didn't really have a strong grasp of at the start, and then slowly incorporating that. It took a long time. I'm not going to say it was a quick process, but from lots and lots and lots of trial and error over around 6-7 years, I think now I have a stronger understanding of that, and everything else has sort of been pretty easy. As artists, we don't just sit down and draw a masterpiece. Like, at least for me, it's a very, very logical approach. Like, I'll use different references for every single element of doodle art. People think, oh yeah, they just come up with all this from their head, like the most creative people ever. But yeah, it's a very logical approach. I'll look at things I see online and then really craft each one. And I try to not repeat elements from previous artworks too much, because everything then kind of looks like a rebrand of itself. And playfulness is one of the most important things that I try to incorporate into almost every artwork. Because I feel like if you create that's just shapes and boxes and just has like no real feel or playfulness to it, then it's kind of in a way sort of lifeless. And I like to make my artworks really fun, and I achieve that by just making all the characters in the artwork just doing something. So it might be like a zebra being like shocked by some butterflies, or a lion being angry at something being thrown at him, just like random stuff like that. But it just adds so much life to the painting and makes you be able to look at all the different areas and have something happening there rather than just being like shapes doing nothing. Art, it does mean everything to me. Like it's been the most important thing in my life. It's been my biggest skill since I was, even before I started making videos, since I was 3. It's just the ability to create any idea you have and put it onto a page, and then the effect that that has on people is just like amazing. Like the fact that people follow me to see my art every day, and that inspires them to create their own art. Just the effect in the community building, I think that is the most incredible thing. I hit 100K subs for the first time, and I got my YouTube silver plaque in hand. That was incredible. But aside from that, if I see my art like in public or something, like on a big billboard or a big collab, and I don't know, I see a car drive by and I've like drawn on it, like that would be insane. Just something like that, bigger than just social media. As artists, you're never really satisfied, so I still feel like I haven't had the I've made it moment, because yeah, if you're satisfied, you stop creating. So I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully we can get an even bigger moment in the future.